Forget luck. When it comes to Canada, Trump never played for it. He played to punish and provoke. Tariffs, not dialogue. Strong-arm threats, not strategy. Hillman and LeBlanc were clear. No bad deal, no surrender. Only a good deal, only when it aligns with Canadian workers' interests. Trump barks. Canada bites back, not out of fear but calculated fury. The pain is the point. Canada isn't waiting for favors, it's coming for retribution. This isn't banter, it's full-spectrum economic warfare, broadcast from the desk of a desperate American president. Trump tightens the screws. Canada calls his bluff, calm, surgical. Mark Carney isn't sweating, he's dismantling the trade war, pulling apart Trump's chaos piece by piece. He doesn't cave to deadlines, he weaponizes them. August 1st, not a breakdown, not a breakup, but a pivot. If Trump miscalculates again, the next move comes silent and swift from the north. Behind the curtain, Canada is re-engineering every alliance in the playbook. Mark Carney isn't playing Trump's game, he's writing the rules. Suddenly, $30 billion in procurement disappears from US spreadsheets. Resilience replaces reliance. Canada is finished being a dependent. Ottawa is building back, putting value where DC can't touch it. For the first time in a generation, Canada is arming itself with something American threats can't confiscate: self-reliance. Watch until the last frame, this is only the opening act. Listen closely. Hillman and LeBlanc unflinching, unmoved. Their line never wavered, no deal beats any deal that sells out workers. Mark Carney holds the line with deadly poise, not a fist pounding the table, quiet, deliberate pressure. While Trump rolls the dice in Mar-a-Lago, Carney is plotting out North America like a chess grandmaster overseeing the end game. This is not negotiation, it's discipline, sealed in steel. Trump throws tariffs like tantrums. Carney threads strategies like steel cables. The choice is stark: sacrifice dignity for a handshake photo, or hold the barricade for the next generation. Carney chose. LeBlanc's meetings with Secretary Lutnick, cordial but clinical, no room for political theater. Carney draws the border in ink, not for show but for legacy. What unfolds is the art of measured defiance, a playbook for survival. Carney knows the cost of a hasty deal. Economic collapse, not just today but for decades to come. So he sets the clock, not to end talks but to turn up the heat. Time is Canada's greatest weapon, a slow burn under Trump's feet. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce hammers the alarm. These months have poisoned business. Uncertainty isn't a threat, it's a toxin seeping into every forecast, every warehouse, every household from Vancouver to Halifax. Forget August 1st. Even a signed page would only cue the next fight, the 2026 CUSMA reckoning. Trump's tariff threats are set to detonate, 35% on every good that escapes previous agreements. Canadians aren't bracing for impact, they're digging in for a siege. While Trump poses for headlines, his real destruction works in silence. Factories frozen, jobs at risk, investments derailed. But the contrast is surgical. Carney doesn't race to meet phantoms. August 1st isn't a finish line, it's a bluff, and Carney calls it. The real battle? The upcoming CUSMA review, where one misstep now means annihilation later. Carney braces Canadian industry with the only thing that lasts: stability, patience, integrity. Here, nobody's selling out for a photo op in DC. Steel and aluminum towns already feel the squeeze. Without a real deal, job loss is on the horizon. 8% to 10% is not just a statistic. It's the livelihoods of thousands, the backbone of entire communities. The auto industry faces even sharper blows, forced to compete against Japanese manufacturers newly privileged by Trump's impulsive deals. Canada bleeds while Trump grins, but it's hollow. American jobs suffer too. The auto supply chain is a boomerang, and Trump just let it fly. The irony is nuclear. Canada, America's closest ally, now boxed out in favor of Japan. Carney holds his ground, refusing to throw Canadian workers under a Washington bus. He's not posturing, he's quietly rebuilding, reinvesting in supply chains, retraining the economy for survival. This isn't policy, this is war. Every American boast about beating Canada is a Pyrrhic victory, ricocheting back to Detroit and Pittsburgh. Canadian provinces strike back, banning US goods. Not a nationalist stunt, a survival reflex. Carney doesn't call for protest. The provinces do it autonomously, a grassroots backlash from a nation forced awake. Trump's trade war has exposed his own flanks, gutting American brands in retaliation zones he never planned for. Canadian composure wins where American bluster fails. Carney keeps his voice measured. That's how you seal leverage. Real strength never shouts. Meanwhile, the President of the United States is calling his Commerce Secretary in the middle of the night over Canadian steel. This isn't power, it's failure camouflaged as improvisation. While Trump runs DC like cable TV melodrama, Ottawa builds policy in daylight, fueled by expertise, not ego. Let's be clear, Trump is flailing, frantic, improvising at the edge of collapse. Every cheap insult, every threat only sharpens the Canadian position. LeBlanc didn't flinch. Carney didn't assemble a press conference circus. Authority radiates in the vacuum Trump creates. For every signal of American desperation, Carney responds with a lesson. Canada doesn't break, it solidifies. The quieter Carney is, the more isolated Trump becomes. Now watch closely as the facade crumbles around Trump's hasty victories. Other nations race to ink deals, fast, flashy, superficial. Japan's win is a textbook case. Mouth-watering numbers and promises that vanish under scrutiny. $500 billion? Nope. Strategic loans disguised as freebies? Only if you squint. No contracts, no signatures, just a blur of spin and smoke. Trump's trade diplomacy is improvisation without a script. Meanwhile, Carney stands firm. Canada refuses the charade. No deal is better than a bad deal. Because shaking hands with a man who doesn't honor agreements isn't a deal, it's a trap. The White House itself admits it isn't focused on Canada. Trump mocks Canadian diplomats as the guys at the reception desk, while his administration dithers. Utter disrespect hidden behind bluster betrays frustration. He's losing his grip on the negotiation. Every threat backfires. Each insult broadcasts weakness, not strength. Trump's trade war isn't strategy, it's chaos with a megaphone. But here's the twist. Those insults expose more than rudeness. They broadcast panic. Trump can't handle Canada standing tall. Dominic LeBlanc remains steadfast, diplomatic, but resolute. Mark Carney refuses to let petty provocations derail long-term strategy. Tariffs hurt Canadian industries, yes, but panic would hurt more. Jobs at risk are no reason for a reckless deal. Carney knows the stakes. This is about survival, not showmanship. Canada's steel, aluminum, and auto sectors are under siege. The toll? Potentially thousands of lost jobs if Trump's tariffs continue unchecked. Industry leaders warn the pain is deep and lasting. It's not just politics, it's livelihoods on the line. Yet Carney holds the line, reinforcing Canada's economic backbone rather than sacrificing it for fleeting political gains. Trump's retaliation isn't leadership, it's ego punishment. He targets Canadian workers because Carney won't bend. Carney, on the other hand, arms Canada for the long haul. Resistance isn't reaction, it's preparation. By fortifying industries and diversifying trade ties, Carney crafts protection that tariffs can't touch. That's how you survive a bully, by turning resilience into a weapon. While Trump boasts of beating Canada, the reality betrays him. American automakers now import more from Japan, paying more because of Trump's impulsive policies. It's a boomerang flying home to U.S. workers. Carney watches calmly, as the fallout grows, as trust erodes, as political support crumbles. Gallup polls confirm the fallout. Trump's base is restless. His approval numbers slipping. Economic pain is mounting. Coffee, shoes, refrigerators, all costlier for everyday Americans. Inflation, not Canada, is Trump's real adversary. Canadian province bans on American products aren't nationalist theatrics. They're responses to reckless aggression. Carney doesn't orchestrate this pushback. It comes from a society awakened by necessity. On national security, Carney is playing a different game. He proposes layering a security and economic agreement atop USMCA to cement Canada's indispensable role. By linking trade with defense cooperation and border security, Canada gains leverage Trump can't challenge. This is diplomacy beyond tariffs. Silent power moves uniting allies against chaos. Trump demands quick deals. Carney demands sustainable partnerships. The difference? Vision. Carney's approach builds for decades, not headlines. This strategy frustrates Trump, who thrives on drama, deadlines, and insults. Canada won't be rushed or bullied. August 1st remains a symbol, a threat, but not a make-or-break date. Carney treats it like a scarecrow, threatening but ultimately harmless. His real focus is the 2026 CUSMA review, where true stakes lie. By holding steady now, Canada preserves its bargaining strength for the battles ahead. In the meantime, Canada is diversifying. Where once its economy depended almost exclusively on the US, now it reaches towards Europe, Asia, Latin America. Trump's trade tantrum inadvertently forced Canada to expand its horizons. What was a slap became a wake-up call. This isn't just defense, it's evolution. Carney leads quietly but decisively. His patience, calm, and discipline reveal who holds real power. Trump yells, Carney builds. Trump threatens, Carney prepares. When the dust settles, Canada won't just have survived. It will have thrived, stronger and more independent than ever before. This is the true story behind the headlines. The real trade war isn't fought with tariffs or tweets. It's fought with vision, resilience, and resolve. Mark Carney isn't just defending Canada against Trump. He's rewriting the rules so that Canada never needs to fear a bully again. To conclude, stay patient. This isn't the end of the story, it's only the beginning of Canada's new economic dawn. If you want any revisions or have further requests, just let me know.